Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Cyrus. Today we're going to be looking at Hover Strike, a game for the Atari Jaguar. It's a pretty cool little game. It does offer some interesting graphical features, which you don't see in too many Jaguar games. Mainly texture mapped polygons. Usually, I mean, you might see a little bit of texture mapping in some Jaguar games, but for the most part, it's like Gerard shaded or flat shaded polygons. But this game goes all out with the texture mapping. Unfortunately, what that means is it takes a pretty substantial hit to the frame rate, but it's still kind of an interesting game because of the fact that they went for it. They actually did try to, see what a game would do fully texture mapped on this console. And yeah, the results were mixed. There's a reason that most games are not texture mapped on this system. And it's just, the system's just, it struggles with that. And you can see right there, the frame rate's perfectly fine because you don't have very many polygons on the screen, so texture mapping looks great as long as it's just like an object. But if you do a full environment that way, then you're going to get, some problems as far as your frame rate's concerned, which we'll see here in just a second when it starts up the demo. Hover Strike's one of those games that came out a little bit later for this console. It came out in 1995, and by that point, things had moved beyond the Atari Jaguar. The PlayStation came out in September of 1995. The Saturn came out the summer before that, in May, I think, here in the United States. So technology had advanced considerably, and the Jaguar was really starting to look like it wasn't going to hold up to the next gen consoles. Which, again, you got to give them credit for at least seeing what would happen here, for trying a game on this console that went full texture mapped with everything, environments and enemies and everything. And yeah, you can see the frame rate's kind of sketchy. So yeah, Hover Strike's an interesting game. This is the instruction manual. They all were pretty much black and white for the Jaguar, but it's a pretty good little instruction manual because it does give you some good information about the game itself and what you're supposed to be doing. Goes through the story and everything. You can save your game in this, that's good, and you can select difficulty settings. So that's also, obviously a big plus. This game is a little bit difficult to control. It's a little floaty. These are your buttons. A, accelerate. B, fire photon. C, brakes. So it does not support the 6-button control. It just has these buttons here. All right. And here we go for a breakdown on what your keypad buttons are going to be. So you can see here. Quite a bit of stuff to try to remember. Once you get playing this game, it gets a little bit easier, but you got to spend a little bit of time playing it. I think that's pretty much the case with every Jaguar game, pretty much. If you spend a little bit of time with it, you get used to the frame rate, you can have quite a bit of fun with this system. But especially now, in this day and age, this generation of console is a little bit difficult to get used to. Alright. Did come with this overlay, which is sort of an orangish. It's not, you can't tell here, but yeah. So that's a little bit helpful, I guess, if you have that. And they give you a little bit more information about how to actually control your craft, because it is a little bit strange. And back then, 3D polygonal games were pretty new, especially to home consoles. So they had some growing pains to try to figure out how to make 3D control work and work in a reasonable way. Yeah, it's quite a bit here. Pretty comprehensive instruction manual. They give you a lot of information about the enemies and everything. I think that back then especially, they wanted to make sure that everyone had every opportunity to understand what they were looking at on the screen. Because like I said, these 3D polygonal games were pretty new. So that's another reason that they detail these things out in the instructions, because they want to make sure you understand what you're looking at. And considering how simplistic the graphics were in this game, that's probably a really good thing. Yeah, look at that, 2-player. So I have not played this 2-player, but yeah, that is possible, split screen. They even got some little hints and tips. All right, well, there's your instruction manual. We'll go back to the game. All right, we're going to try to play a little bit of Hover Strike. We'll see how it goes. No promises. This game, like I said, is a little bit difficult to control. So let's see how it goes. And we'll put this on easy. A few different planets you can go to. We'll start with the first one. And I will turn the volume to the game up a little bit here.
Prepare to launch.
Oh boy, I'm all over the place. What am I doing? There we go. Okay, let's see if we can change our view.
External monitor. External monitor. Shields critical.
I blew up good. Yeah, this is going to take some getting used to. Frame rate is pretty low and it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. Pretty weird that it just drops you right in the middle of all these guys.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. So, yeah, this game's very floaty. Frame rate is really, really bad. Draw distance is not very good. Detail's not very good. And yet, again, you can actually have quite a bit of fun playing this once you get used to it. Locate and destroy 2 radar dishes. Okay, and that's what we're looking for.
Prepare to launch.
Oh boy. There we go. I would say that the 3DO handles polygons a little bit better than the Jaguar in some ways, and it definitely handles texture mapping better than the Jaguar does.
Energy. Guided shields.
All right.
Accomplished.
Starting to get the hang of it. It does look better on a CRT TV also. But I will not lie, this game does not look spectacular. Four enemy missile sites have been found. They must be destroyed. Alright.
Prepare to launch.
I'll try to use my other weapons. This is crazy right here.
Guided missiles.
Going all over the place. There's one missile silo. Yeah, unfortunately, like, if you're not on flat ground, you cannot see crap because you're in a hovercraft and you just slide all over the place. Very strange gameplay decision, you know? I don't know why they would make it so floaty. It's not impossible to play though. It just takes a lot of getting used to because you're like skating on ice everywhere you go. Well, that wasn't fair at all. The turret was like going underground. Ugh.
Shields critical. Missiles.
Ooh, all right.
Mission accomplished.
See, it's a little frustrating, but it's not terrible. Like, you can actually play this game and not die just immediately. So, yeah, it could be better, but it could definitely be a lot worse. Not my favorite Jaguar game, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. What a glowing review. I know, what a glowing review. But as far as Jaguar games go, that's kind of what you gotta expect. You're gonna have some experiences with this console that, you know, they're not exactly necessarily what you have come to expect from modern gaming, let's just say. But if you can sort of put yourself in the shoes of somebody in that time period, then let me say that it helps. But I will also say, this game came out in 1995, and our expectations in 95 were beyond this. So even then, this was not that great. So I'm not saying that Hover Strike is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or the best thing on the Jaguar, or could compete with what was available from the PlayStation or 3DO or the Sega Saturn. But you could have some fun with this game, and it's actually kind of worth playing to see what this experience is like, because I've never played any game where you fly around on a hovercraft and float all over the place and have to constantly deal with the inertia and the difficulty in controlling your craft and everything. It's very strange. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun. Okay, enough defending Hover Strike for the Jaguar. If you're curious about it, you can check it out yourself. If you're not curious about it, beyond watching this video, I wouldn't blame you either. But I promise you, there are better games on this console. There's worse games too. And half the fun is discovering all of that. So, more videos coming soon, and more of the Atari Jaguar. Check back with me soon. See you later.